Well, hello. My name is Erin Sinnaeve. Welcome to Divinity Live. I'm a nurse practitioner and member of the Divinity Coalition and co-lead investigator for Project GAIA. I am super excited today to talk to the incredible Stephanie Redcross. So I've not actually even met her, and I'm so excited. So let me find her here and invite her in. Let me see here if I can find. Let's see. Hope this works. There she is. Yay. Hi, Stephanie.
Hello, how are you?
Well, I'm great. I'm great. It's great to finally meet you. I've heard wonderful things about you. I'm going to just say a short bio on you that I found. So I just want to just so people can know more about you. I mean, we're going to get into it, of course, but you're from Vegan Mainstream, and from what I could find, you based it on a simple idea to build a pro-vegan world, as we need this to have a solid infrastructure of successful businesses and brands to ensure that an ethical lifestyle is accessible to everyone, everywhere. I love that. And then you started developing tools, training, and support for individuals who identify themselves as vegan professionals and those starting and running vegan businesses all over North America and the world. And you have lots of marketing experience, and you've been working with Fortune 500 companies, and you're a speaker, you go to conferences, you have your own boot camp series. I watched an episode you just recorded today on your, oh my gosh, that was so helpful. I was like, I'm going to start implementing these things in my life like today. So I'm so excited to meet you and to talk to you. So
Oh, I am so glad to be here, and I'm really glad we're getting a chance to talk as well.
yeah, for sure. So I'd just like to know kind of what really inspired you to start Vegan Mainstream.
I really think the inspiration was a little bit of me being a consumer, me being a person who was vegan and wanted more options, going to different restaurants, going to different stores, and also seeing how many of these stores struggled. I've been vegan for almost 15 years now. So, it wasn't as exciting as it is now. There wasn't as much support as there is now. And for many of these people, they were pioneers. But I think what they struggled with is the business acumen. Running a business is very different than, I'm a great, chef. It's a little bit different of like the day-to-day stuff that you have to do to run a business versus, I make great products. And what I always wanted to do is help vegans kind of bridge that gap to be able to run the business that they love, do the things that they're great at, but also turn it into a career, turn it into something where they can hire other vegans, turn it into an opportunity to bring growth and ideas and experiences to their communities.
Oh my gosh, I love that so much because even I'm a healthcare provider, and I also, yes, I talk to my patients in my practice, but I haven't in the past tried to kind of launch and go off on my own and have, but I'm in medical. I know nothing about that side of business. And so I should have looked you up and I still will for sure. And maybe we'll have a consult after this. So,
And
um,
you never know, you might, in a couple of years, you never know what kind of opportunities may come across your path. That's what I tell
Oh,
everyone.
I would not have stumbled across Divinity, honestly, had my other business worked out. So it's actually wonderful that I did it all, everything happens for a reason. So anyway, so tell me, you did say you've been vegan for about 15 years. Tell me a little bit about your experience in going vegan, your personal story, and how any impact you had on your health or wellness from going.
Yeah, I really had a quick wake up call. For me, I got sick. Now, most of it was actually through, contamination. I'd gotten E. coli when I was in college. When you're in college, you're just hanging out and you're like, why am I going to the emergency room 3 days in a row? I'm young, I should be healthy, everything should be fine. And what it really did for me is it opened my eyes to where our food comes from. It opened my eyes to how our food is processed. It opened my eyes to the idea that I should ask questions. I should wonder why. And food shouldn't just be one of those things that, this is what everyone does, this is what the status quo is that food can really be something that can help us, but can also at times maybe not give us the outcome that we had hoped for. And with that kind of experience, it put me on a path of discovery. It put me on a path of, okay, what is healthier eating? What does it look like? Who eats healthy that I don't know or do know? And should I start hanging around them? And it really created this opportunity for me to start to build a community around, my journey. But I really took it step by step. I wasn't one of those people, I don't know if you were, but I wasn't one of those people that okay, I went vegan right away. I went vegetarian, took things out one at a time.
Yeah, I did the same thing actually. And it's interesting, your story, that unfortunately you had to get really sick. And that's what I hear a lot from my patients and from people I know. And they have an event or something that really drove them to the emergency room or something like that. But, it's unfortunate. We don't hear more about that in the media, right? And how, gosh, just what I eat makes a big difference in my health, right? So I appreciate you sharing that experience. Please share some of your insights and experiences related to you being a female entrepreneur of color.
I think it's a really interesting path to go down because as a vegan, things are starting to change. Things are starting to get a little bit, more diverse. But the movement hasn't always had diverse faces. It didn't always have women. Even when you just looked at the speaker pages as the example, sometimes it was the same traditional faces all the time. And what I found is the movement really needs multiple voices. We need multiple people stepping up because if we're trying to create this vegan world, therefore the voices have to represent the world. The voices and the people that they see, people have to be able to connect to. And therefore we need to make sure that we're choosing individuals with different backgrounds and different walks to help spread that message. And what I've been trying to do is a little bit of doing it myself and making sure that I have diverse voices in my kind of circles, but also challenging people to make sure that when they're putting together events, when they're collaborating for their business, when they're looking for growth opportunities, making sure they're reaching out to women, making sure they're reaching out to people of color, because otherwise we only can get one side of the story if only one group, one gender, or one kind of experience is only getting the spotlight.
That is so, so important. And I appreciate you sharing that. And so as you build Vegan Mainstream as this awesome full spectrum business coaching, leadership training, education, and consulting platform that you're building, what is the vision that you aspire to? What do you hope for it to become?
I really hope it becomes a place where people feel like they're not alone. I think when we go through our vegan journey at times, for many of us, especially who've maybe been either the only vegan in our family, or maybe we live in a certain area that isn't as vegan friendly, or maybe we have some naysayers around us. We often don't feel like we have the right people for us to move forward. And for me, that's, I think, so important when you're building a business. Because for a business, it's supporting a lot of people. Often businesses are not only supporting the people who started the business, the people who work there. Often many of our businesses, we try to contribute to nonprofits. Many of our businesses, we try to do give back strategies. Many of our businesses can really have these impacts wide. And therefore, I want to make sure that people feel supported, feel like someone's in their corner, and feel like there is an opportunity for them to participate in the movement. Because in the past, not only did we have challenges with diversity of voices, but we also had challenges of diversity of how do we express our veganism. We've often thought that it's the food channel. So you have to go into a food business or you have to go down this path to run a successful business. And I really hope that people hear from you when I speak and I talk, I'm always telling people there's room for everyone. There's room for all types of skills and all types of products and services, and just hoping that people really see an opportunity for them to not just be kind of vegan personally, but take that into their careers, take that into where we spend most of our time, which is at work, and being able to bring that message, that excitement, and so many great things that we all love about being vegan.
That's right. It's really that trickle down effect. And I think when we connect with each other in our vegan community in the plant-based world, it's great to make these connections. I mean, I would not have met you had I not been part of the Divinity Coalition and been friends with Nivi. Speaking of Nivi, you did feature her recently, Nivi Jaswal, founder of Divinity and co-lead on Project Gaia in Pivot, your vegan business interview podcast. So please tell us a little bit about Pivot and what is your vision around creating this content specifically?
I really see Pivot as a place for people to be able to talk directly to our community, an opportunity for not just the names or even sometimes the faces that people feel like would be on the cover of the magazine. You know, the person that, oh, they can get the most amount of clicks, they're going to get me the most amount of traffic. The idea is everyone needs a stage.
Yep.
Most of us have such great information out there that I wanted to create a platform where people could talk about their businesses, talk about their journey, maybe not even just be in an environment where they have to put forth, you know, the brand image of who they are, but just talk about that experience. It helps the next group of people who want to be entrepreneurs, who want to start businesses, start organizations, but also allow people who maybe feel like, is my message important enough? Is what I do impactful enough? Would someone want to hear from me? I really wanted to create a home and a place where everyone is really welcome in the vegan movement, and a place where people could talk about challenges
Yeah.
and setbacks and problems and how they overcame it. Because while I'm really like optimistic, and you can probably feel from my energy, I'm all like fired up kind of person,
Yes.
the reality is it is hard. It is difficult. We've had a very challenging year and a half. And I don't want people to think it's all sugar coated. I want people to realize that, we all fall down, we all stumble, but as a community, we can support each other and help each other get back up.
That's right. That's right. I love that because you're right. It's not always rosy. And I'm glad you brought up COVID-19. And one of the biggest things we saw was that marginalized communities, people of color, were disproportionately affected by this disease, with more people, having more severe outcomes, unfortunately. And so so I want to thank you for your support of Project Gaia. That is one of that's the research project that myself and Nivi are co-leading. And so I want to just thank you for that. And so, because we're not seeing a lot of research around COVID-19 and nutrition, and that's exactly what this study is all about. And
Yeah.
we have a couple more weeks of having this survey open for people to take the survey. So thank you so much for your collaboration and for sharing it, because I see that you find that this is obviously very important work as well. So I just wanted to take a moment and say thank you.
Absolutely. I think it's such important work from two different perspectives. Number one, I think as a community, we have to participate. I think we forget at times that we want better. We want to be represented, but we don't always click on those links and
Yeah,
fill out the survey. So if you're
right.
watching, if you're listening now, please, please, please click on the link and fill out the survey, because we want to make sure that we're represented. We want to make sure that the research is not only gathered, but shared. And we want to make sure that we have accurate information to leverage and use to help communities of color, and to also show people that communities of color matter.
That's
And that all starts from us clicking that button, taking the survey. It really happens by doing that. So I just want to make sure that people know we have to take that step. And I'm also really excited about the work that you're doing and Nivi's doing, because you're creating this opportunity for us. It's wonderful to have that support. It's wonderful that you're stepping up to make sure that we're represented, and to make sure that we have a place that we can go to for information that matters to our communities.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate all of that. And yeah, health equity is something that is really important to us, is trying to reach that goal, right? And trying to, and so we do need people of color to take the survey if they can, especially because we really want to hear from you. So thank you for that. I know the link is in your bio. It's in my bio at Thrive Plant Life. It's also in Divinity bio. So anyway, one last question. Can you tell everybody that's watching, how can we best reach you and find you?
Oh,
So
I'm online everywhere, but you can definitely reach me through Vegan Mainstream. So that's our handle here on Instagram. You can jump in there, send me a direct message, let me know how you're doing, let me know that you clicked the link and filled out the survey. But you can also connect with me on LinkedIn if you want to have a little bit more of a personal connection. But Vegan Mainstream is on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, as well as you can always go to our website, veganmainstream.com.
fantastic. And I'm definitely going to check out that podcast too. I can't wait to listen to more. So thank you again for your time today. I know you're very busy. So um, um, thank you again. And I wish you well and have a great rest of your week.
Thank you so much for having me. It was wonderful chatting with you. And thank you, everyone who's either joining us live or if you're watching this as a replay. It is wonderful to have you here. I really appreciate it.
Yes. Thank you. All right. You take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.